Hi everyone, good evening. It's 8 o'clock. You're watching the Urban Debate. I'm Shreya Dhoundial. Ladies and gentlemen, manufactured political controversies amplified by shrill television debates have real consequences. Ladies and gentlemen, these consequences are now on your screens. Nagpur erupted into flames last night just as we were ending our show on the hue and cry over Aurangzeb's grave. 24 hours ago, we were asking what the endgame was of a rather facile debate over the nondescript grave of a tyrant who has been dead for over 300 years. While we were asking all of this, the answer, as you can see, was playing out on the streets of Nagpur. India's otherwise peaceful Orange city saw violent clashes leading to widespread vandalism and arson. A masked group armed with weapons, sticks and bottles vandalized shops, set vehicles on fire and pelted stones at the police. What was their trigger? The trigger was an agitation that had been led earlier in the day by the VHP and Bajrang demanding the removal of Aurangzeb in Sambhaji Nagar. These right-wing outfits had apparently raised slogans like "Remove Aurangzeb's grave" and had even burnt a symbolic grave with bundles of grass. Now this reportedly triggered a rumor that the symbolic grave which was burnt had religious text on the cloth covering it. So right after the namaz, the evening namaz that is, a mob of about 250 gathered and started shouting slogans. Stones were pelted at the police as they used tear gas shells and lathi charge to bring the situation under control. The end result, 30 police personnel have been injured, around 25 bikes and 3 cars have been gutted, and nearly 50 people have been detained. All of this, ladies and gentlemen, over a tyrant who has been dead for over 3 centuries and whose grave for the last 3 centuries has never bothered the people of Maharashtra or even the politicians of Maharashtra. Until, of course, our politicians decided to make this an issue. So for the past several weeks, they have been drumming up the rhetoric of raising down Aurangzeb's grave on one side and Aurangzeb being a good ruler on the other side. Today, faced with questions of how a riot could break out in the Chief Minister's home ground, Devendra Fadnavis laid the blame on Chhaava, the film that has been made on the life of Chhatrapati Sambhaji. He said the film has fueled anger against Aurangzeb.
आज महाराष्ट्रामध्ये विशेषतः म्हणजे मी कुठल्या सिनेमाला दोष देत नाहीये, खरं म्हणजे छावा या चित्रपटाने छत्रपती संभाजी महाराजांचा खरा इतिहास आपल्या समोर आणला. पण त्यानंतर राज्यामध्ये लोकांच्या भावना देखील खूप मोठ्या प्रमाणात त्या ठिकाणी एक प्रकारे प्रज्वलित झालेल्या आहेत. औरंगजेबाबद्दलचा जो काही राग आहे तो रागही खूप मोठ्या प्रमाणात त्या ठिकाणी बाहेर येतोय. या सगळ्या गोष्टी आपल्या ठिकाणी असल्या तरी मला असं वाटतं की महाराष्ट्रात कायदा आणि सुव्यवस्था राखणं हे अत्यंत महत्त्वाचं आहे. त्यामुळे सर्वांनी संयम बाळगला पाहिजे.
Now, while the Chief Minister was busy shifting goalposts, his deputy, while speaking to Mirror Now, continued the Aurangzeb dog whistling, claiming that no true patriot would ever support the dead tyrant.
सुबह एक आंदोलन हुआ था. वो आंदोलन हुआ, दोनों समुदाय के बीच बचाव करके पुलिस ने तो शांत कर दिया था. लेकिन लोकशाही में आंदोलन करना, औरंगजेब के खिलाफ में आंदोलन करना, तो उसका जवाब ऐसे पत्थर से, हथियार से देना, ये तो कहाँ की बात है. ये औरंगजेब का कौन होता है? होता कौन है? ये औरंगजेब क्या संत है, क्या महात्मा है, जिन्होंने हमारे छत्रपति संभाजी महाराज का इतना हलाल कर दिया, उनके ऊपर अत्याचार कर दिया, उनकी आंखें निकाल दी, उनकी जबान छीन दी, उनके नाखून दिए, उनकी छलनी कर दी. और ऐसे क्रूर कर्मा औरंगजेब का समर्थन तो सच्चा देशभक्त मुसलमान भी नहीं करेगा. तो ये देशद्रोही औरंगजेब के समर्थन में ये दंगा करना और बेकसूर लोगों के ऊपर हमला करना, उनके घर जलाना, पुलिस को मारना, पुलिस के ऊपर हमला करना, ये कहाँ का न्याय है?
Now, ladies and gentlemen, regardless of the mayhem that played out in Nagpur, the politics over Aurangzeb continued, with both the ruling Mahayuti and the opposition Aghadi trying to hijack each other's protests inside the assembly today. Those are the pictures.
कभी भी ऐसी घटना होती है तो पहला रिपोर्ट सीएमओ को आता है, सीएम के मोबाइल फोन पे आता है, होम डिपार्टमेंट भी आता है, दोनों डिपार्टमेंट्स उनके साथ है। क्या उनको पता नहीं था ये होने वाला है? मेरा अंदाज यही है कि भाजपा को महाराष्ट्र का मणिपुर करना है। मणिपुर में अगर आप देखें तो पिछले 1 साल से जैसी बातें हो रही है वैसे ही दंगे हो रहे हैं, किसी ना किसी को जलाया जा रहा है, किसी को मारा जा रहा है। क्या आज वहाँ इन्वेस्टमेंट जाएगी? क्या कोई पर्यटन जाएगा? नहीं जाएगा। और यही उनको महाराष्ट्र का करना है, यही हाल उनको महाराष्ट्र के करने हैं। और जहाँ जहाँ भाजपा को शासन चलाने नहीं आता है वहाँ दंगे भड़काते हैं।
Ladies and gentlemen, more than the film Chhaava, this conflict seems to have been scripted by all political parties concerned. The Bajrang Dal and the VHP protesters went right ahead with the effigy burning yesterday afternoon, despite being forbidden from doing so by cops under Section 168 of the BNS. But the cops did not act against them. In the evening, the stone pelters came, and they came prepared with visuals showing massive rocks being stored and transported on trucks. Some carried axes and knives. While these deadly political games played out, it's the common people of Nagpur who had to suffer, like always. Listen in to one of them whose shop suffered damages in this rioting.
जिम्मेदारी ले रहे ना कि सब भाईचारे से रहे, तो तुम जिस दिन का नुकसान हुआ, जितने लोगों की गाड़ी चली है ना, सबको कंपनसेशन करो और सबको प्रोटेक्ट करो। यहाँ पे उनका भी अगर कुछ नुकसान हुआ है तो उनको भी कंपनसेट करो, पर इसमें ना राजनीति मत करो यार कि ये हिंदू मुस्लिम ये सब चीजों को खत्म करो। और ये जो कुछ लोग कर रहे हैं ना, ये वो उसकी औरंगजेब की ये चला के ना वो चला के ये सब चीजों को बंद करो। इससे कुछ नहीं होने वाला है।
कॉमन मैन ही रियल विक्टिम है।
ऑफ कोर्स। और ये सब चीजों को क्या होने वाला, साथ में ही रहना है। कहाँ जाएगा हिंदू और कहाँ जाएगा मुस्लिम, यही रहना है ना।
आपका नाम क्या है?
वरुण नाम।
Ladies and gentlemen, as a citizen of this country, I have a few questions. If the violence in Nagpur was pre-planned, why did the police and the administration not stop it? Who benefits from this polarization? After all, there are no elections around the corner. Is the Hindu-Muslim rhetoric a ploy to divert attention from real issues, as the opposition is claiming? I'm putting those questions to my guests this evening. Thank you all very much for joining us. Let me quickly make an introduction of my guests who are joining us this evening. We have Dr. Naveen Kumar, who is spokesperson of the NCP of the Ajit Pawar faction, joining us on the broadcast. Dr. Kumar, thank you. Asim Bhamla is spokesperson of the BJP. Mr. Bhamla, good to have you on the show. Clyde Crasto, national spokesperson of the NCP. That's the Sharad Pawar faction. Chandrasekhar Jha is spokesperson of the Shiva Sena, the UBT faction. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll be joined by two more guests, but that is later on in the show. Mr. Bhamla, yesterday, in fact, exactly 24 hours ago, we were discussing Nagpur, and we were discussing about what the end game is going to be. Mr. Bhavla, is there a realization amongst political parties, including the BJP, then that when you drum up concocted and manufactured controversies, they have real implications on the ground? And we've seen those implications play out in Nagpur yesterday.
You see, it's very unfortunate that a place like Nagpur, जिसमें हमेशा से एक सांस्कृतिक विरासत जिसे हम मानते हैं, वहाँ पर इस किस्म की दुर्घटना को देखना पड़ा. And I mean, of course, we are here because the situation is fragile. ये त्योहारों और सन का मौका है देश भर में, जहाँ रमजान मनाई जा रही है एक तरफ से. There was Holi also some days back. Of course, fortunately, both fell off very peacefully and everything was fine and right. But apparently, the whole issue is concocted because of the issue of Aurangzeb. Now, I don't understand कि कोई भी सच्चा देशभक्त जो होगा वो कभी औरंगजेब की का समर्थन नहीं करेगा, knowing how a tyrant and a dreadful Mughal that he belonged to, the virasat that he lived with, he had not spared his own father and his own brother. Forget in India alone, in Pakistan also, you will not find anybody who are his fond admirers. ये तो हमारे ही देश में इनकी महिमा मंडल किया जा रहा है. I am a Muslim. मैं एक अच्छा और सच्चा मुसलमान हूँ, तो मैं एक सच्चा देशभक्त भी हूँ और एक हिंदुस्तानी भी हूँ. मेरी तो हमारे कौम से भी अपील है. आज आपने देखा होगा मुख्यमंत्री ने भी यही अपील की कि हर मजहब के लोगों को इस किस्म के दंगा भड़काने और फैलाने वाले लोगों से के खिलाफ करना चाहिए. बजरंग दल ने भी यदि निकाला, उनके खिलाफ भी पुलिस ने कार्रवाई की. और यदि उसके उपलक्ष्य में अगर वहां पर अखिलियत लोग भी दंगा भड़का रहे हैं और उसमें अगर दो डीसीपी को अगर लेट मी कंप्लीट, दो डीसीपी को अगर दो डीसीपी को जो है दे आर इंजर्ड एंड इफ द लॉ एंड ऑर्डर इज इन अ प्रॉब्लम, इवन इफ इट इज माय ओन कम्युनिटी पीपल, आई डोंट थिंक एनीवन इज अबव द लॉ. द लॉ सर्वोपरि है. और मुझे लग रहा है कि ऐसे मौके पर जब when situation is fragile, and especially the social media which is spreading the wrong messages everywhere and inciting people, of course पुलिस ने
आप सब कुछ बोल लीजिए, सवाल का जवाब मत दीजिए.
स्थिति परिस्थिति को बोलिए, मुझे मैं क्या
आसिफ भामला पूरी आप दुनिया भर की बातें बोल लीजिए, लेकिन आप जवाब नहीं दे रहे. I'm asking you that for the last 3 weeks in Maharashtra, the politicians on both sides have been drumming up a narrative of hate against Aurangzeb. Who's saying he's a good guy? Of course he's not a good guy. Where is the argument over that? अब आप उसकी ग्रेव को भी तोड़ने में लगे हुए हैं, बुलडोज करने की पे लगे हुए हैं. My point to you is that if the political discourse continues to be what it is, there will be implications.
Leaders
Nagpur and the arson and rioting in Nagpur is a direct result of the political fear mongering and the rhetoric that all of you have been doing over a ruler who died 318 years ago, sir. 3 century हो गई उसको मरे हुए.
Who is doing that? It was raked up. It was raked up in the assembly by none other than a leader of the Samajwadi Party.
What is your chief minister saying? It is very sad we have to protect the grave of a tyrant.
नहीं, मुझे आप बताइए, any liberal party in Germany will pay homage to a Hitler? ये सिर्फ हिंदुस्तान में ही पॉसिबल है. Why? Who is he? मैं ये पूछता हूँ, हमारे यहाँ उनकी दरगाह या बारगाह में कोई सहानुभूति से नहीं जाता है. हमारे हाजी अली में एक स्थान है जहाँ लोग आस्था से जाते. वाई आई मीन देखिए, जहाँ तक उनके टोम की बात है या उनके मजार की बात है, दैट इज फॉर द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट. That is for the law and order. That is again by the ASI. There are certain compulsions which fall under that. All of that is to be looked into it. But what I am saying is, this issue was raised by whom? By the opposition, by the Samajwadi Party MLA who raised this issue in the floor of the House. Why? ये क्या जरूरत है, मुझे बताइए. कौन है औरंगजेब के हम उसको फिर से जिंदा करें और उसकी महिमा मंडल करें? ये हमने तो कहीं नहीं देखा. आज मुझे ये बताइए, आज जो स्टेटमेंट आपने देखा होगा, ये सबके लिए स्टेटमेंट है.
Shreya, can I come in? Shreya, can I come in, please?
Yeah, go ahead. Let Clyde come in.
I mean, yeah, my friend Asif is reading a script that is sent to him, and he's reading verbatim what I read in the Times of India this morning. I mean, you are asking a question, he's not answering, he's reading a script.
I am well versed in talking.
Asif, when you were talking, I was not interjecting. So have the decency. Have the decency. I can see you reading, Asif. Leave it there. No, let's have a decency. I'm not interjecting one.
बोलिए.
The point here is very simple.
आज आपका दिन है, बोलिए. आज आपका दिन है, बोलिए.
Okay, done. Asif, happy?
नहीं, आज किसी का दिन नहीं है, भाई.
Relax.
If Nagpur burns, आज किसी का दिन नहीं है. If there are riots in a city in this country, किसी का दिन नहीं है.
वही तो मैं कह रहा हूँ.
Please go ahead.
Shreya, let Asif, now Asif keep quiet. The point here is very simple. You asked the question. My point here is, that you are talking about Aurangzeb. Abu Asim Azmi was wrong. He had no business to speak about Aurangzeb. Even Asif Bamla's leaders like Nitish, Rane and all are speaking of Aurangzeb. They have no business to rake this up. Asif Bamla is living in Bandra. The whole of Bandra is dug up. Are you trying to tell me that Asif Bamla will go and stand next to a dug up road and say Aurangzeb is cruel, Aurangzeb is a tyrant, and the road will fill up? It's not going to happen. There are many more issues in this city, in this state, and in this country. Aurangzeb is a tyrant. Nobody respects Aurangzeb, and to care a damn about Aurangzeb doesn't matter to us. Point here is, yesterday, where was the intelligence when tempo full of stones were coming up, or where was the intelligence when a mob of 250 people were gathering? Where was the Home Department's intelligence? People from Nagpur are complaining that they were calling the police. Police did not pay heed. They came in late. So who's behind all this? That is what we need to find out. Because why do we need at this juncture? You were voted by the people of Maharashtra. You were given a mandate. You're here to serve. You're not here to rake up issues like Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb is 300 years gone back. Nobody cares about Aurangzeb anymore. People's livelihood does not depend on what you talk about Aurangzeb. Their livelihood depends on from leaving their house to going to their workplace in a proper condition. Roads, infrastructure. This is what we need to talk about. What is the point in talking about Aurangzeb? And whoever speaks about Aurangzeb, they have no right to speak about Aurangzeb. Nobody in the sane mind or sensible human being will talk about Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb is a tyrant and, we don't care about him. Point here is talk about the people of Maharashtra, talk about whatever. Talk about Ladki Bahin Yojana. You promised so many people. You went ahead and, declared them not valid. You were saying that you were giving 2,100 rupees. Now you're giving only 1,500 and there's no budget. You took their votes. You suspended or you took action on Abu Asim Azmi in 24 hours. You could not take action on Dhananjay Munde for 3 months. A man in Bid has been, actually killed brutally, Santosh Deshmukh. You have no inclination to give any justice on that. And you're talking about something that's gone 300 years back. And who cares about Aurangzeb? Nobody cares. So let's talk about the points. Let's talk about the issues
Dr.
of the
Naveen
people.
Kumar.
Does the BJP want to talk about it?
Dr. Naveen Kumar, does the government of Maharashtra really want to talk about issues that matter to the people of Maharashtra? The point is, how is Aurangzeb such a big man in the minds of the mighty Maharashtra government that he makes one stupid statement and the government reacts and overreacts? Please respond to the opposition charge that if this riot yesterday, arsoning yesterday evening, was pre-planned, why did the police let it happen? It's a valid question, Dr. Naveen Kumar. Where is your local intelligence unit? I'm sure if you're saying it's pre-planned, then you probably knew it's going to happen. Why did you not stop it? Why is the chief minister blaming a film for it? You are saying that the film Chhaava fueled anger against Aurangzeb. If it was fueling anger against Aurangzeb and causing enmity between two communities, why did you make it tax-free?
श्रेया जी, देखिए 17 मार्च को नागपुर में जो कुछ भी घटनाएं घटी, जिस तरह का तनाव इमर्ज किया, वह दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है। और इसमें कई चीजें आपको समझना होगा। एक दक्षिणपंथी संगठन ने वो औरंगजेब के कब्र को हटाने की मांग किया और उसने प्रदर्शन किया जिसमें एक अफवाह फैलाई गई कि एक समुदाय विशेष के उनके जो धर्म ग्रंथ हैं उनके पन्ने को जलाया जा रहा है। ये प्रचार या दुष्प्रचार करने वाला कौन लोग है? यहाँ श्रेया जी एक चीज और देखना होगा, यह घटना दिनों दिन सरकार को अस्थिर और बदनाम करने के लिए भी साजिश के रूप में आजमाइश किया जा रहा है। जब से महाअघाड़ी सरकार सत्ता से विमुख हुई, महायुति सरकार पर किसी न किसी रूप से घेरने की साजिश रचता रहा है। औरंगजेब का मुद्दा किसने उठाया? ये महाअघाड़ी के अबू आजमी साहब के द्वारा उठाया गया था। इतना बड़ा बवाल देखिए, नथिंग इज न्यू एट द टाइम ऑफ इट्स बर्थ। कोई भी घटना या दुर्घटना अचानक नहीं घटती है, यह कल की घटना ही नहीं है, इसके पीछे कुछ पृष्ठभूमि तैयार की गई है। और वह चुनाव हारने के बाद से वो लोग बखलाए हुए हैं, तरह तरह का प्रपंच रच रहे हैं। बताइए ये कौन सी घटना है जिस पर काबू
So,
कर लिया
Dr.
गया
Kumar,
था?
are you telling me
दोपहर तक
that the
पूरी
government
तरह
of
काबू कर चुकी
Maharashtra
थी हमारी
has
पुलिस
walked
बल।
into the trap of the opposition?
नहीं, एक मिनट श्रेया जी रुकिए।
Dr. Kumar, are you then telling me that सुनिए Dr. Kumar, are you telling me that the government of Maharashtra has walked into the trap
जांच से पता चल जाएगा,
set up by the opposition?
ये frustration का रूप है। नहीं श्रेया जी, तो फिर ये मांग करना मुख्यमंत्री के त्यागपत्र का सरकार को हटाने की बात करना, ये कहां बुद्धिमानी है? ये कौन सी घटना घट गई? ऐसा बहुत बड़ा चीज हमने दोपहर में काबू कर लिया था। ये शाम में 2000-3000 आदमी प्री प्लान से जिस तरह से हिंसात्मक घटनाएं की है वह शर्मनाक है। उसकी जांच हो रही है, वो पकड़े जाएंगे, छूटेंगे कोई नहीं। इस भूल में आप ना रहिए। महाराष्ट्र की सरकार बहुत सशक्त है, बहुत काबू में है लॉ एंड ऑर्डर। आप ये समझिए कि फॉरेन इन्वेस्टर सबसे ज्यादा महाराष्ट्र में आ रहा है। इसके बावजूद क्या वजह है? हमारी सरकार मुस्तैद है और इस घटना के पीछे भी जो साजिश है उसका भी भंडाफोड़ होगा। नहीं, आप प्रभोग भी तो लोग करते हैं।
लेकिन अगर मुस्तैद होती,
महागाड़ी वाले लोग हैं। आबू आजमी समाजवादी पार्टी से थे, उन्होंने सदन में बात कह दी ना। औरंगजेब उनके लिए हीरो बन गया।
लेकिन अबू आजमी इतने बड़े आदमी कैसे हो गए?
आप समझने की कोशिश कीजिए। हमारी
उसके बाद इस तरह का दंगा भड़क जाएगा।
चल रही है।
Where was the need for the chief minister to say मेरा बस चले मैं तो बुलडोज कर देता? But unfortunately this grave is protected under the ASI.
नहीं एक चीज
318 साल में आपको औरंगजेब और उसकी ग्रेव याद नहीं आई, अब आ रही है।
नहीं श्रेया जी, आप उद्धव ठाकरे जी के ग्रुप को याद कीजिए। अभी वो जोगी साहब का ये हवाला देते हैं कि अगर जोगी साहब का यहाँ सत्ता रहता तो बुलडोजर चल जाता और ये हो जाता वो हो जाता। जब वो चुनाव प्रचार में आए थे तो विरोध में वही खड़े मिले थे। अभी उनको ये सहानुभूति लग रही है उस नेता के बारे में। ये सब बरगलाने वाली बात हटाएं, अब सही वस्तु स्थिति पर आइए। समझ रहे हैं कि इनमें साजिश है, यह तय है, लेकिन साजिश का भंडाफोड़ भी हम करेंगे, बहुत जल्द करेंगे। आप देखिए हमारे आप सांप्रदायिक दंगा कैसे कर रहे हैं? कोई दो समुदाय के बीच में झंझट हुआ है। एक समुदाय विशेष के कुछ मन चले लड़के जो उग्र रूप लिए हुए थे, उन्होंने पुलिस पर हमला कर दिया। पुलिस प्रशासन बहुत काबू में शांतिपूर्वक लाठी और आंसू कब छोड़ा जाता है, बहुत नॉर्मल वे में। गोलियां नहीं चली हैं, कोई किसी की हत्या नहीं किया है पुलिस ने। पुलिस खुद घायल हुई, डीसीपी रैंक के दो हमारे ऑफिसर घायल हैं, 30 की संख्या में लोग घायल हैं और 50 से ऊपर उग्र करने वाले लोगों को पकड़ा गया है। आप इस बात को समझिए कि शासन और प्रशासन बहुत मुस्तैद है और कामयाबी ढंग से ये जो साजिश करता है उनका भी भंडाफोड़ करेंगे। बहुत जल्दी ही इसका निर्णय सुनाएंगे आपको।
ठीक चंद्रशेखर झा, the allegation is that it is the opposition that is conspiring against the government and provoking communal tensions in the state. That is the charge against you. And it is stemming from the fact that Abu Azmi did make that statement, which was rather controversial, that Aurangzeb was a great ruler. Where was the need for him to say something like that? It was a stupid comment to make.
We have never given any credence to the statement made by Abu Azmi ji in respect of Aurangzeb, and we don't care about Aurangzeb. They should throw the mazar of Aurangzeb into ocean. We don't care. What we care about right now is the security, the law and order of the state. And it's a tacit admission by everyone from the BJP as well as from the faction of NCP as well as from other party of Shiv Sena, Mr. Eknath Shinde ji. It is a tacit admission right now at this stage that it was a pre-planned stooge which happened, and it is not a one-day, single-day build-up. It is 2-3 days build-up, and all the weapons which have been carried out by the culprits were brought in. So it's a clear failure of the intelligence. And eventually, what we want, that heaviest charges should be brought against the culprits under the UAPA as well as under the BNS. And they should not get bail at any stage. They should be tried in a very fast manner. And it's a crime against the state. It's a crime against the country. They should be tried for that. And eventually, what we want, we don't want to rake about the glorification of Aurangzeb or anybody else. Because any person in history who is a cruel ruler, we don't glorify anyone. We are not concerned. But these these ignitions have been given by the BJP netas continuously after 3rd March, when Abu Azmi said that I am sorry, I will not do anything like this. Eventually, this glorification was continued by the BJP leaders. And eventually, if they allege right now that the opposition is involved, then the opposition is involved. They should have certain evidence. Right now, they are saying that it was pre-planned, everything. There was mens rea, everything. But
Indian
eventually,
politics
opposition,
is shoot and scoot. Where is the need for any evidence? Okay. Now, Asif Amla, I'm going to, before I go to the citizens on this show, I quickly want to come to you, and please keep it short. The point is that both the opposition spokespersons on the group are saying one thing very clearly. We don't care about Aurangzeb or his grave. For all we care, you can throw it in the ocean. For all we care, chala do spit bulldozer chalana hai. My point is, Maharashtra has double engine की सरकार. अगर उस grave को लेके इतना पेट में दर्द हो रहा है, present dispensation के, change the rules. Yes, it is protected under the ASI, but you can change the rules. Change the rules. Destroy it, desecrate it, do what you want to do with that grave, and let that be the end of the matter. वो आप कर नहीं रहे हैं, बड़े-बड़े आप narrative set कर रहे हैं.
नहीं, देखिए, नैरेटिव की बात नहीं है. यहाँ पर अगर आप देखें और अगर जाने तो हमारे जो मुख्यमंत्री देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी हर 3-10-5 मिनट में ही इज इन टच विद द प्रशासन. लॉ एंड ऑर्डर को नियंत्रण में लाया गया. कलेक्टर से लेके कमिश्नर से लेके सबको बातें चल रही है. ऐसा नहीं आप लोग को यहाँ मीडिया आपके वहां बैठकर ये कहना बड़ा आसान होता है टू रन अ स्टेट लाइक महाराष्ट्र. इट्स नॉट दैट वी आर इट इज फाइन. नहीं, देखिए, ये सिचुएशन जो है हमें है ना, बिल्कुल है. नहीं, जाहिर बात है, he's an elected chief minister. वो क्या कुछ भी कर जाएंगे क्या? ये महाराष्ट्र है. ये कोई this is not any Somalia or any other country जहाँ पे आप जो चाहिए. पैलेस्टीन नहीं है जहाँ पे आप कुछ भी कर लोगे यहाँ. So this is definitely not the case, and perpetrators would be definitely behind the bars. So investigation on. अब इसमें opposition का क्या रोल है, किसका क्या रोल है, अब वो वक्त नहीं है ये दर्शाने का. लेकिन अब जो सिचुएशन है उसको कंट्रोल में लाया गया है, और उसके लिए वहां के पालक मंत्री बावनकुळे जी भी वहां गए हैं, और हर चीज का जायजा लिया जा रहा है. तो धीरज रखें और समर्थन भी करें. ऐसा नहीं होता कि आप कहें कि भाई आप ये सरकार या विपक्ष डायरेक्टली को दंगा नहीं कराना चाहती है, या वो भी नहीं चाहेंगे. आज सरकारें आज हमारी कल किसी और की भी हो सकती है. लेकिन मेरा कहने का मतलब यह है कि इस बार सिचुएशन को नियंत्रण में आने दीजिए, और दूध का दूध पानी का पानी होगा. उसके लिए भी सही वक्त नियोजित है, और सरकार कोई लाचार नहीं है. ये पूर्ण बहुमत की सरकार है, और देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी जैसा एक स्ट्रॉन्ग हैंडेड लीडर है. माना कि नागपुर में ये हुआ है, तो आज लोग गा रहे, नाच रहे, बोल रहे. ठीक है, वी वेलकम दैट. We don't oppose that. ठीक है, ऑपोजिशन का काम है, कुछ विषय नहीं है. लीजिए, स्वागत है आपका. मैं तो खुद आपके चैनल पे बैठ के लोगों को जवाब देने तैयार हूँ. लेकिन थोड़ी सी मामले की संजीदगी को भी समझिए. आखिरकार आज अगर हमारी सरकार में ये हुआ है,
आपके अपने एमएलए नागपुर सेंट्रल के is saying that this police failed spectacularly. That there was no intelligence, they had no clue about what was happening, which is why we saw the arson. Give
me 30 seconds.
In Nagpur.
Give me 10 seconds.
It is your own MLA who's saying
Shreya, give me 10 seconds. No. Give me 10 seconds. These provocative chants that filled the air out there yesterday, it was definitely a very painful moment, because at the end Nagpur ki janta suffer kar rahi hai with thick smoke. As children of Aurangzeb, I would say that they have done this as as children of Aurangzeb, and they pelted. But this is not Syria or Lebanon. This is Nagpur. A reply, and a fitting reply will be definitely given to them. And you will see that this under the Chief Ministership of Honorable Devendra Fadnavis ji, and we will reciprocate to the perpetrators, and they will be booked properly so that no such situation ever happens in the state. And I'm sure everybody will want this to happen.
I hope not by counter-violence. Arun Bhatia, you're a former municipal commissioner of Pune, and I apologize for coming to you this late.
No.
I want to ask you what you make of what has played out, not just in Nagpur yesterday evening, but for the last 3 weeks. As a citizen of Maharashtra, what is it? What is it that you understand? My point is, who benefits from this polarization? At this point of time, to my mind, no one, because there is no election around the corner. So are you seeing the violence that we've seen as organic, or are you seeing it as pre-planned?
Thank you, ma'am, for having me. I will say that this whole thing seems so farcical to an observer. We are talking about which party is to blame. Did the film ignite these feelings? Who said what? Was Aurangzeb a good guy or a tyrant? And it is being argued that at that time in feudal days, violence and killing relatives and wars of succession were the order of the day. The argument against that is okay, that may be for political reasons, but a person like Aurangzeb did it for religious reasons in addition. The police comes on time, intelligence failed. To sum it all up, I think it's very ridiculous spending so much time on this issue, and we are saying we are the oldest and the most mature democracy. So I want to say one thing which has come up today is people say that this is 300 years old, nobody cares. We do care. It may be 500 years old. We do care. Why? Because I'm not a radical Hindu and all the rest of it, and let's not get into that personal type of situation, but I want to make it clear that I'm not conservative in any way, but it is offensive as a Hindu to see Aurangzeb Road, Cornwallis Road, Clyde Circle, Warren Hastings Square, Aurangzeb ka jo tomb hai, it is offensive. It may be 500 or 1,000 years old. These were conquerors. They ruled by force. They may have married Rajput princesses to stabilize political power, but they were outsiders, they ruled by force, and they suppressed Hindus. As a Hindu, when I walk down the street, I don't want to see this building, Aurangzeb's tomb, and people hanging around over there, unless they are tourists, unless it's bringing us income and all that. We can think about that separately. It must be demolished. It must be removed. What are we arguing about? It is offensive. You remove it. The same applies for temples and mosques. If somebody comes and builds a mosque on top of my temple, I'll say, Sahab, isko jara baaju mein rakh lijiye. Government can give them assistance to build a new mosque. They can be given land to build a new mosque. But are we going to be living in this country for the last 70 years, tolerating this nonsense? Don't we have any feeling? We do, but it's suppressed. So people and politicians exploit this situation. But the thing is, a central law is required. A central law. Modi should legislate on this and say, yes, surveys will be carried out on all temple sites, mosque sites, whatever. And these type of things, you name roads and you name graves and you name memorials for good people. You don't want Gandhi's memorial in one end of the town and Aurangzeb's at the other end of the town. So it is an ethical judgment. Where we feel that a person is bad, we should really remove him, keep him in the history books. But you don't have to plant his architecture all over the town. Actually, last point I want to make,
essentially you're telling me
madam, just
as a secular Hindu, let me paraphrase you. Haan, boliye.
Yeah, as a secular Hindu, I find this very offensive. And if I were the chief minister or the prime minister, I would demolish it. But I just want to say something else. Why don't the Muslims come out? Why don't the Muslims come out and say, this was wrong. This is what a conqueror does. And we are not to blame. But all right, since this is standing testimony to the type of oppression and harassment that you guys face, yeah, we'll demolish these things. We'll demolish these buildings. Why don't they come out and say it?
Arunji, but my question to you is this. Should the Muslims of India in 2025 have to pay for the sins of a Mughal ruler who ruled 300 years ago?
No, ma'am.
I think it's offensive to you. The grave is offensive to you, right?
Yeah, so
but
I'm
why
not
is this
blaming the
grave
Muslims
offensive to you
I'll tell
only
you.
now?
I'll tell you. Two things. The present Muslims don't have to pay. Why should they? They're good people. I have Muslim friends, very good friends. I worked in the service, very good Muslim officers. The best collector in 35 years of service, ma'am, was a person of the Hyderabad civil service, Sadar Rabbani. He was my collector. He is the best collector I've ever had. My wife is, best friends are amongst the Muslims. Leave that aside. I'm not blaming the present Muslims. I'm blaming them for not being sensitive enough to come out and say, yeah, these are offensive monuments. It is a sign of us being kicked in the butt. So please, no harm, you can remove it. Why is it offensive now and it wasn't earlier?
Crasto?
Because one is not obsessed with it. I'm not obsessed. I don't get up in the morning and say, "Wo Shahjahan ka tomb kidhar hai?" So you let it go. But if the issue arises that should they go or not, I will always vote for yes, they should go. They should not have been there at all.
Okay. Clyde Crasto, if the government of Maharashtra approaches the central government and says rules need to be changed, ASI rules need to be changed, and the protection needs to be withdrawn on Aurangzeb's grave. It is not a tomb. I keep stressing it's not a tomb because it's not a tomb. It's just an unmarked mud grave. If the Maharashtra government manages to do that, will you or will you not support the raising of Aurangzeb's grave? I want to ask you that. Because as a Hindu, and, you know, as Mr. Bhatia is probably expressing the concerns or the sentiment of many Hindus in this country.
Why not, Shreya? Like you rightly said, it's a double-engine sarkar. Let them come up with a decision. And whatever is the right decision, we will support it. And the whole question about, you know, just because the Clyde Crasto is sitting here and you say, I'm a Hindu also, I'm a Vaishnav also, I'm a Christian also, I'm an Indian. Okay, and when I say I'm a Vaishnav, does not mean I'm just saying I'm a Vaishnav. I'm actually a Vaishnav, born to a Vaishnav mother. So the point here is, it's not about my religion or anything. Aurangzeb was a tyrant. What he did to us, what he did to our fellow Indians cannot be tolerated. So if the government has the guts, if the Bharatiya Janata Party has the guts, and if Devendra Fadnavis says that he is under the ASI, I mean, what is stopping him to change the ASI rules? When they want, they'll change the rules whenever they want. ASI rules have been changed. We all know about it. Go ahead, pass a resolution, pass a GR. They have the central government, they have the state government. Let them do it. Let them show the guts to do it. And let me tell you, whatever is right, we will be supporting it. So the fact is, the ball is in their court. The point here comes back to, will talking about Aurangzeb solve the issues of the people in 2025 is the question.
Okay. Asif Bhamla, on this panel at least, you have the complete backing of the opposition when it comes to Aurangzeb's grave. The opposition is telling you, that is the BJP, double engine ki sarkar ko thoda dodaiye, change the rules and demolish that grave if it is causing so much heartburn and trouble. When will you do this?
No, I agree. I agree with what the opposition is saying here, but I would like to also apprehend what Mr. Arun said, that the Muslims of 2025 should definitely not pay for the offences created by a tyrant ruler. You see, I really appreciate this point, and he has brought to light the agony that the people are going through in the community at large. A. B, of course, ये तो अच्छी बात है. I'm happy that the opposition is supporting this issue. ये अलग बात है कि हमारी सरकार अब 10-15 साल के कार्यकाल में रही है. इस 15 साल के कार्यकाल में भी 2.5 साल नहीं रही. इसके पहले कई सालों तक चलता रहा. और आज भी जैसे अरुण जी ने कहा कि औरंगजेब रोड दिल्ली से लेके पूरे देश भर में जो है फैला है.
अरे भाई 10 साल से तो आप ही की सरकार है.
जो टायरेंट थे नहीं, अभी आइए ना, आप रुकिए तो सही। आज भी ऐसे टायरेंट लोगों की महिमा मंडन किससे कर रहे हैं? आज समाजवादी कोई सरकार का हिस्सा नहीं है, आज वो भी विपक्ष के हैं, तो कहीं ना कहीं साठगांठ कुछ ना कुछ है। लेकिन मैंने क्या कहा आपसे, अभी वो वक्त नहीं है उस चीजों को दोहराने का, नियंत्रण में स्थिति को लाया जाए। और हाँ, मैं जवाब दे रहा हूं इवन टू क्लाइड्स प्ली दैट ऑफ कोर्स दैट हम आपके साथ हैं। आई वेलकम योर मूव, एंड ऑफ कोर्स ये मूव ऐसा है जिसमें मुझे लग रहा है कि सभी की सहमति की भी जरूरत है। तो एएसआई अभी चूंकि मामला इतना तूल पड़ा है, मुझे पूरा यकीन है कि देवेंद्र जी जो महाराष्ट्र के अभी मुख्यमंत्री भी है, गृह मंत्री भी है, इस बात की पुष्टि करेंगे और एएसआई के माध्यम से कोर्ट कचहरियों के को भी वी कैन स्टैंड एज ए गवर्नमेंट इन ऑपोजिशन एंड हैव थिंग्स लाइक दिस। एंड आई एम वेरी श्योर कि कोई भी देशभक्त मुसलमान इस बात से नाराज नहीं होगा और इसकी मुखालिफत भी नहीं करेगा। मुझे इसका भरोसा और यकीन है। ये कुछ बरगलाने वाले लोग हैं, लेकिन after every dark there's a brighter side of it, and I think we will see the brighter side of that under the leadership of Mr. Devendra Fadnavis ji very soon.
Okay. ठीक है. So my point is, even if in the future rules are changed and Aurangzeb's grave is actually flattened, what will it achieve? Will it wipe out history? Will it wipe out the fact that he was a tyrant? Will it wipe out the fact that he imprisoned his own father, that he beheaded and executed his own brothers, that he tortured and killed Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj for his refusal to convert into Islam, for the fact that he imposed the jizya tax? How can you erase history? You can erase the grave. How can you erase history? And even if you do, what purpose will it achieve? Let it exist. Let it exist as a symbol of Maratha resistance. पूजा करने तो कोई जाता भी नहीं है ना वहाँ पे. Mr. Bhatia, I'm out of time, but since you have raised your hand, I'll give you exactly 20 seconds. Please go ahead,
sir. Madam, it's not a question of erasing history. He will remain an evil man in history, like Hitler remains an evil man in history. But we don't want to see his statues and his architecture dedicated to him. That's the point I'm trying to make. We can remove that. I went to Germany and to Dachau, one of the biggest concentration camps near Munich, and I saw school children over there, and everything that happened, gas chambers and everything was exhibited over there. And I went and asked one of the teachers, I said, why are you bringing so many school children here? She said, it's part of the curriculum. Every German child from the age of 10 to 20 is brought here. And one thing is drilled into his head, that this happened. Let it never happen again. They were teaching them. But you will not find a single statue of Hitler in Germany. The two things are very different.
There is no statue of Aurangzeb either.
Of course. You must demolish them all, including the British viceroys. Demolish them all. It's a sign of our slavery. We were slaves. We were conquered. We were subjugated. We had no self-respect. Why are we keeping these figures alive? You remove them and history books will condemn them. The two things are separate. They don't have to stare us in the face when you're driving down the best part of the city. All right, okay.
Mr. Bhatia, we'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much. It was good to have your view in. Thank you very much for joining us. Chandrasekhar Jha, thank you very much. Good to have you on the show. Clyde, good to have you on the show as well. Dr. Naveen Kumar, बहुत धन्यवाद आपका. And Asif Bhamla, spokesperson of the BJP, thank you very much for joining us this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, on that note, I'm slipping into a quick break on the show. Coming up next, Sunita Williams is getting ready to say hello to Earth. But the last leg of her journey is not going to be easy. Why is that? That's coming up next. Do stay with us.